I want to turn to how one television station in England covered this week's heat wave. In this clip that's gone viral, GB News anchor Bev Turner interviews meteorologist John Hammond.
We all like nice weather, but this will not be nice weather. This will be potentially lethal weather for a couple of days. It'll be brief, but it'll be brutal.
Oh,
so,
John,
we can
yeah. So, John, I want us to be happy about the weather and every single. I don't know whether something's happened to meteorologists to make you all a little bit fatalistic and harbingers of doom, because all of the broadcasts, particularly on the BBC, every time I've turned on, anyone's talking about the weather, they're saying that there's going to be tons of fatalities. But haven't we always had hot weather, John? I mean, wasn't the summer of 76? That was as hot as this, wasn't it?
No, and we are seeing more and more records, more and more frequently, and more severely.
This has been compared to the hit movie Don't Look Up. Your response to this, and then if you can comment on the British Prime Minister's race and where the final two candidates stand on this critical issue?
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, people said that Don't Look Up was an exaggeration, but honestly, the news anchors in Don't Look Up were not as stupid and as blinkered as the news anchors in that segment you've just seen. When I saw Don't Look Up, it was like my life flashing before me. I thought, this is all so familiar. This is also including completely losing it in a TV studio where, I just couldn't take it anymore. The banality, the stupidity, the triviality. And I'm sorry to say, I just burst into tears, which is slightly mortifying. But, and then when I saw Don't Look Up, I felt almost vindicated because, actually, that is the human way to respond to this utterly ridiculous, infuriating situation where these total morons are just dismissing the greatest threat to human welfare there has ever been. How else can you respond to it? And, kudos to John for keeping his cool. I don't know how he did it because I would have been bashing my head on the table that he was sitting at. Anyway, yes, so we're talking about total morons. We now have a race between Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak to grab the helm of the Titanic as it starts going down, brackets the Conservative Party. You could not have two less suitable people for high office of any kind at all, let alone to be Prime Minister of this country. But they are going to be chosen not by the country as a whole, but by the members of the Conservative Party, who are about 200,000 people, mostly elderly, almost entirely white, mostly male, living in a very particular, prosperous part of the country. And so what these people have to do to become Prime Minister really is to appeal to the worst instincts of humanity. And that's how they win. And both of them are very well equipped to do that. Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak basically are in concentrated form the worst instincts of humanity, and they would be utterly devastating. I mean, we've had a terrible Prime Minister, the worst Prime Minister ever, perhaps, in the form of Boris Johnson, and it looks like they will continue that glorious tradition. Basically, what the Conservative Party in this country has become, now that it's been stripped of all moderating influences, is a channel for the demands of the most predatory and destructive forms of capital.